life cycle. So SDLC is nothing but software development life cycle. And when we have this particular software development life cycle, what you meant by this? See, always I given the same example in the videos if you have been seen also. So we'll be having the human life cycle. So in the human life cycle, the baby will born, and they will be have the child age, teenage, and middle age, and then old age, and then gone. So now this is a human life cycle, right? Everywhere for everything there would be some expire, right? So even for the software also. So now the software also we will be having a particular life cycle. For software means for developing a software. Now whatever we are talking is it's a development of a software. For development of a software, we have the life cycle. So now what are the different phases? Now in human we have these are the phases, right? The teenage, childhood, baby, and the middle age, and then old age. So these are the different phases which we have it. The same way for the S means for a particular software also there will be having certain phases for us. So what are the different phases we will be having for the SDLC? Now let's see that the first one is the requirement gathering. So if you see here, I think I have been taken multiple examples in different videos. In one video, we have been taken this one as a construction company, so constructing a building. So that we have been taken an example, and another one we taken some other examples I have been taken randomly because for all the previous batches we have been given different examples. Now let's try to vision the same that example so that it will be easy for you. If I say the same example, if you go through the video, it's also very easy. I'll try to give you the same example with that one, and then let's see how things goes on. Now, before talking about this particular SDLC, I'll talk about one normal cycle, one life cycle, and then we will try to correlate these particular things to that particular example so that it will be very much easy for you to do it. Okay, let's try to do it. Now, I wanted to construct. So now we wanted to construct a house for use, for us. So I do have 2,400 square feet. So in this particular land, I wanted to construct a house. Now what I'll try to do, I'll call a contractor. So the contractor means I was looking means I wanted to construct. Then immediately the contractor will ask you, what are the questions he will try to ask you? Hey, can you tell me what is the budget of this to construct your house? And can you tell me what is the timeline you're expecting? And can you tell me what are the things, means how you wanted to create your house? These are the basic things he'll be asking you, right? Now, when you wanted to create a house, so he will ask, sir, do you wanted villa, or do you wanted certain small apartment structure, or you wanted how you wanted your house to look like? It should be like a duplex, or how you wanted to have. Then you will be saying that, hey, I wanted a 2-car parking, and I need some garden space in front, and then I need to have some living space in ground floor, and attached with the kitchen and the living space. In the first floor, I should have 3 bedrooms, and the second floor, I should have another 2 bedrooms, and the third floor, I should have a big swimming pool with a gym and with a nice view on the landscape on the top. So this is what you'll be giving all your requirements. What you're trying to is what he's trying to do here. He's trying to gather all your requirements. Now, how you wanted your house, you are telling to him so that according to this particular requirements, so then he need to start the house. So now what the contractor is trying to do, he's trying to collect all your requirements, and he collects all the requirements, and then according to that he need to plan. That's it, right? Now, what he takes that complete requirement of the house, and then we'll see that, okay, within this particular stipulated time can we complete this one, and with this stipulated budget we can complete this one or not. So the next thing what the contractor will do is he will analyze that particular project. So whether, hey, I can take, I gathered all the requirements, how the house should look like, how many bedrooms it should like, and how the master's room should look like, and how the landscape should look like, and how the swimming pool should look like. I taken all these informations and all things I kept it now. What else I wanted to do it, the time and budget, I taken it and then we started to analyze this one. Now, once after the requirement was gathering is done and then analysis is done, the next one is you need to design this one, right? Now he wanted to design. What to design? So now, if you wanted to construct a house, will you go directly and keep the bricks and then construct it? Obviously not, right? What are you trying to do? We can call an engineer, civil engineer. We'll ask him, hey, our architect, can you give me a blueprint? So how it look like? Hey, how my master room look like, and then how this living room will look like, and how the entrance would look like, and then how the first floor will look like, and second floor look like, and third floor look like. So first we will have that particular blueprint. According to the blueprint, then we will start creating this particular house, right? So now this is what the designer job. So in the designing phase, so we will be designing that particular project and how it should look like. So that the way, so we'll be involving the designers as well. Now we gather the requirements, we analyze the requirements, and with the help of an architect, so we have been designed now. Now what next? Next, the implementation. So now here's what you wanted to do, the implementation part. So the implementation is nothing but creating the house. Now you start keeping the foundation for it, and once after the foundation, then you start to build the particular walls over here, and then roof over here, and then on top of the roof, then the first floor, second floor, you started to implement that particular thing. You will have a time, according to the time you'll start building these things, and then you'll be proceeding further with that. Next one, when you're doing this one, you will be checking this one, you'll be verifying this one, okay, whether this particular construction is properly happening or not. Okay, whether they have been kept, they are using the proper quality of cement, proper quality of bricks, proper quality of walls, whether they're doing plastering, whether they're giving enough water for that one or not. They will check all those things, right? And they'll say that, hey, here the wall is not good. Or according to the particular the design or the architecture which we have been made, so that particular architecture is different from this. So how can you change this one? Do the change? I need this one like this. So according to the requirements which we have it, so we will check that particular things, and then we will validate whether it was properly constructed with the quality of the house is creating or not. So that is what we check for validation, and then we will verify that particular things. Now implementation is done, verification and validation is done, and now we wanted to hand over this particular house, right? So now, because all the things are, the testing or everything is done, so now we will be hand overing that particular house to the respect, means he will be hand overing this one to us, and then we will go and then we'll do house warming and blah 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 blah. We will do all the things, and then if there is anything, and there will be some small works, plumbing works, or some painting works, or something else, the maintenance of that particular house, which we will be having it, right? This would be our maintenance. So we'll have it. Now, if you see here, these are the different cases. Now, if you wanted to construct and get a house into your hands, right? Now, we think in the same pattern. So for a software also, we do have the same, almost all the same phases. First one, okay, I don't want to ask any questions here because I'm not a contractor or a constructor. So to say that household things, but just wanted to give you a good example so that it gives you the feel of how simple it is to learn and understand the SDLC. So that is where my intention of giving you this example. Okay, so now if you come here, now the same thing we will be following for the SDLC. Now what I'll try to give is what are the roles involved into the phase, and what are the phases we will be having it, and what would be the objective or outcome of this particular phase. Let's discuss on this one. Now the first one is we can see that requirement gathering. For an example, I'll give you with an example again. Now previously I have been given with a construction of a house example, right? Now what I'll try to give the example is, now we will take a practical example. Now I wanted to create one particular software. The software name is Ginger. This is one of the prominent tool in the market. So I wanted to make a changes for this one. So to make the changes into the things. So this is a Ginger. is a tool. Now, what I wanted to use, I wanted to create this particular tool. Now, first I look for some vendors who can give me the complete software for me. Means I'll give me the who can develop the software and then give it to me. So that's where I was looking for. Now, what immediately I'll try to do, I'll just keep a code so that some of the service-based companies will reach me. Now, what they will ask, sir, can you tell me what software technology stack you wanted to do it, or what is your functionality you wanted to do it? Hey, I want to do some UI automation. I wanted to have automatic healing of the scripts or automatic healing of it. Okay, I'll do that. So if I do this one, it might be confused for us. I'll do the Gmail. Like I'll be keeping something like Kmail. Okay, I wanted to create like a Gmail. We have an inbox, outbox, and we'll send the mails. We'll get it right. So that's how I wanted to create a mailbox. Now for this one, I kept it to the vendors. The people will come and ask, hey, what would be the functionality? What would be the requirements you wanted? I will say that, hey, I'll be having an inbox, outbox, send mails, draft, and then I wanted to see all my mails and I can segregate my mails and all the things, functionalities I will explain it. And they'll ask, sir, can you tell me your tech stack? Tech stack is nothing but technology stack. Hey, technology stack is nothing but, hey, you want me to prepare this one with the C#, or you want me to prepare this one with the Java, or you want me to do with what programming language you want me to develop this one, and what I need to use it for the front end, what I need to use it for the back end technologies, you tell me. So those are informations and the functional requirement gatherings, all these things will be gathered. So this is where this is called the requirement gathering. So most of the places, so in this particular requirement gathering, previously we used to have BA. BA is nothing but business analysts. So business analysts are the people who are in touch with the clients, get the requirements and give it to us. Now, based upon the different SDLCs, the roles are changed. Next, we have the POs, project owners. So the project owner, the name itself, they own the project. They complete the functionalities, they will get it and then they will give it past to us. Now, what the outcome we will be having is, we will be getting the complete functionality of the application. What exactly we need to do it, that functional knowledge, time, how much time to develop this one, or budget, all those information gathering will be done in this particular requirement gathering phase. Now, the second phase is analysis phase. In this particular analysis phase, so here we'll be having development manager, testing manager, and the test lead, development lead, and the architects, and then project managers. Everyone will be involved into the analysis phase, because testing team means testing lead and testing manager. So now the roles in the usually in the testing would be like we will be having test engineer, automation test engineer, software test engineer. These are common name. QC, quality controller. QA, quality analyst. Guys, you remember this is the most important word, QA. QA can be termed for two things. One is QA, means quality analyst, and one is quality assurance. Assurance is really a bigger one. This we will talk about later. This is quality analyst. So these are the basic roles from the testing point of view. Test engineer, automation test engineer, software test engineer, quality controller, quality analyst. And on top of them, we'll be having the test lead, who leads the complete team. And then on top of this one, we'll have development, the testing manager. And even parallelly, we will have test architects. Architects are nothing but architects, civil engineers, we will call them as architect. They construct the designs for house, right? Same way, architects will design for testing architect. So they will be doing the test architectures in terms of creating the frameworks and all. So I'll tell you later what. See now here the constructor, he creates the blueprint, right? The same with test architects also creates the test blueprints. And on this one, you'll be having the QA director or test director, testing director. So they'll call this one normally as a QA directors. Okay, so this would be the designations and roles in the testing world. Here you'll be having test engineer, senior test engineer, test lead, senior test lead. So those things are depend upon the company to company. But usually we'll have test engineer, automation test engineer, or software test engineer, or quality controller, quality analyst, and senior test engineer like that, and then test lead and senior test lead, and then test manager, or the test architects, or the directors. So this is what the hierarchy in this particular testing world. Same way, instead of testing, you can keep the development. So that would be the development hierarchy. Okay, so that is how we have the test engineers in this one, and everyone will be involved into this particular phase. Why then it is really important to analyze? Because they will be looking at, hey, within this particular budget, within this particular resources, within this particular resources, skill sets and the capabilities, can we achieve this particular project or not? So this is the phase we will be getting the output that go or no go. Means, can we do this project or we do this project? The decision making will be happen here. Why? Because here we talk about budget, here we talk about time, here we talk about the resources and the skill sets, and based upon all these things, the decision should be made. So that's the reason they will be involving everyone into this before giving a go or no go decision. So that should be a combined platform to take the decision on this one. Got it? So that's the reason this phase is really very important for us. So requirement gathering is done, analysis is done. Now let's go for the designing. So now in this particular designing, we will have development architect, test architect, all other people would be involved into this particular phase. So development architect, test architect, they will create the blueprint. Okay, how the development has to be done. So here we will be having the high level plan, high level design, low level design. What are the modules to be designed for me? For an example, here in this module, I need to design inbox, outbox, trash, sent mail, and compose mail. So these are the modules I need to design. And internally to this one, I need to design in this way. I used to use some frameworks to do this one so that it will be easy. So this is what the development architect will be taking care. Test architect will take care that, hey, how I need to test this particular modules independently. I can test this particular inbox, outbox, and everything. Now, how I need to combine and how I need to integrate this particular modules, and I need to test this one. And how I need to test this particular module in the different phases. So whether this is a web application or desktop application or what kind of application is this. So how I need to test this particular application. So this test architect will be designing from the testing point of view. Development architect will be designing from the development architect of view. So that is how the designing phase will be created for this one. So here you can have the high level planner, means the high level design and the low level design documents will be getting out of this particular thing. The most important thing, if you see here, these are the same things we are having it. Instead of implementation, here we will be calling this one as coding. So now here who will be involving the development architect, the development team, means complete all these particular people, development software engineer, development engineers or software engineers, and then software leads and the managers and all the POs, means from the development point of view, they all will involve into this particular coding phase, and they do the coding for this one. Next one, the most important. So this is what the birthplace for testing. So this is the phase which we do testing. Here we will involve ourselves. So here in this one, we are doing the checking and the verification and validations, right? So here is what the testing would be done over here. So as part of testing, so now we will start doing the testing here. And here the birthplace for this one is which is called SDLC. Now you see here, this is SDLC. This is SDLC. Software testing lifecycle. So this is software development lifecycle. So now here the testing lifecycle will be start for that. So however, we will discuss about this particular testing lifecycle in detail. And here, who are the people you will be involving is all these roles: test engineers, test leads, testers, senior test leads, or managers. From the testing point of view, they will be involving. So now here they code, here they will test it. And once after this one, it will go for deployment. The name itself, it was saying that deployment. Don't get worried. What do you mean by this particular terminology means? See, for an example, you have your pictures in your phone. Okay, you have your pictures in your phone, sorry, in your mobile phone. You will connect it to the USB cable and you will copy to your laptop. All these things means you are moving this all this particular code into this, moving this particular pictures into your laptop. Just you are trying to move that because to save, to store it, to save it, and we can access anytime we can do. The same way, when you are moving the code from one environment to another environment, which is to the live or which is to the pre-prod or which is to the staging. So now if you push this particular code from one environment to another environment, the terminology which it is called as deployed. Moving of the code from one environment to another environment is called as a deployment. Now you're moving the code, right? That's the reason it is called as code deployment. Very simple, right? Very easy. Use these terminologies. The code deployment will be done from one environment to another environment. Now, the deployment to live was live environment. So the live environment will be deployed in this particular code. So here I'll be talking about the environments and these things. What I'll try to do is let me complete this and then I'll come to this particular code deployments or environment I'll talk. So here we are pushing everything into the live. Okay, so now live means everyone can access. Now for an example, there is a bug, they fix that one and they will push it into the live. Then from the live, we can access, means all the end users can access it. For example, there is a bug in Amazon or Swiggy. They fix that one and they push it to live. Live means everyone can take that one. Everyone who now, if I open this particular Amazon or anything in this one, so those things are my live. So now if I take on this particular Amazon, so now this Amazon is my live site. So now this is my live site. I can, every customer can easily access this one. So that's the reason this is called as a live site. Okay, now deployment was done. The next one is maintenance. Deployment will be done. Who will be doing this particular deployment is we will be having DevOps engineers. DevOps, what is this one? Which team is this one? So previously we used to have SCM, software configuration management team. Means the name itself it was saying that software configuration. So they used to maintain all these configurations, maintaining in a different environments, doing this one. So these teams used to take care. Then later on, now in the latest industries, so it was moved to the DevOps. So now all the code would be deployed into this particular DevOps. The code deployment, code transition, everything will be taken care with the help of this particular DevOps teams. Now, what is the outcome of this one is, so this would, the code would be moved to the live. It will move to different environments, means the developer will develop the code in his environment, he moves the code to the testing environment, tester will test this code, and then it will be moved to the live. Don't worry, so I'll explain about this environments, moving of the code, everything also as part of the next continuation of session. But you understand as of now, it would be moved to the live that everyone can access this. Now, last but not least, after the deployment, it will go for the maintenance mode. Means here all the testing team, all the developer team, everyone will be there. Means first they will take it and then they'll make the changes. I mean, if there is any particular bugs, they'll fix the bugs. And once the developers will fix the bugs, tester will always fix the bugs. Test the bugs, not fix. Means fixed bugs will be tested by the tester. So that small maintenance will be there, right? Here, plumbing work, painting work, these things will be there, right? The same thing will be there. So these are the basic 7 phases of the SDLC. As part of SDLC, we will be having SDLC, and then that SDLC will be taking care on this one. And the next part of this one, Okay, I just wanted to give you a pause over here. So because for last 28 minutes we are discussing on this one. So now, what any questions on the SDLC? What do you mean by SDLC? And what are the different phases we have it in the SDLC? What are the different roles we have it in the SDLC? What are the different outcomes we will get in from each phase in the SDLC? We have been discussed about it. Any questions on this?
No.
No, sir.
Let's say yes, no. You guys there with me?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
No, sir.
Sir, I have one question.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one question, please.
Yes, please go ahead.
Uh, can you tell the roles involved in coding, sir?
So in coding, you know, they will be write the coding, right? So in the coding, all your developers, the development engineers or development leads and development manager, so all those people will be there. So development team, leads and managers, and even the architect, development architect also would be involved because he designed this particular system, right? So that particular uh, guys can also be involved. Architects are nothing but who designs the framework, structure, everything, how they need to do it. They gives the high level plan and low level plan. According to that high level plan and low level plan, so these people will take it and then they will try to create it.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello, sir.
yes, go ahead.
In the video, developer do the coding, right, sir? That coding will store it in version controlled system. You told that in video.
Okay.
Uh, that concept you didn't set right now.
uh, I don't know who is speaking, but yeah, see
I mean,
now they have written the code here. Now they need to store somewhere else, right? That
yeah.
storing they will be doing it in the version control system. Probably exactly what there in the video I may not be repeat here because I always not prepare for the session. Just on the flow, I'll explain. So here and there, if you have any questions, you can ask me. And don't think that exactly what I explained in the previous video, I'll explain the same thing. Obviously not. I might miss few things. If you see here, what it will happen here is now the coder, they'll be writing the lines of code. Now
Right.
these particular lines of code should be stored somewhere else. So that's the reason we use, you know, we always go and store all our money to the bank, right? So
Yes.
the same way, if you wanted to store all your code, we'll be having something called version control system.
Yes.
So in this particular version control system, we always store the code. What is this version control system as? Example, two people are developing this one. Okay, one guy put the code here. This now another guy also wanted to put the code. So now this both code should be common, right? Because whatever the changes he was doing, even this guy also should get it right, or else we can't go with only with this guy's particular thing. So, anyways, we have a separate topic in the session on the version control system we'll discuss later. But at a high level, you should understand that to maintain your code for a uniformity and then in a proper structure, we will have this particular version control systems to hold the code and maintain the code.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this particular phases, roles,
Hello.
objectives? Yes.
Hi, sir. Can you what is the
Others can go
difference
on mute.
between?
So who are not asking the question, so please go on mute. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
See, I'm getting a lot of wind noise from someone. Okay, go ahead. Someone is asking the question.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What is the difference between staging side and post go live side and live side and production side is there?
I told you that I'll explain you that later. I didn't started explaining that one, but we'll
Yeah, that
discuss
means
about
post
that
go
later.
live side and live side. Yeah.
No, that is what I'm saying you. So I'll explain that one. I didn't explain you now till now this. I'm just asking you whatever I explained here. Do you have any questions in this? Roles, phases, outcomes. The staging, pre-prod, this one I didn't explain you. I'll explain you that after this.
Yeah, okay.
Someone is asking
Hello,
another
sir.
question. Yeah.
Hello, sir. I saw the video in other. Yes,
Yeah.
software
Hello.
testing life cycle will be stages: test plan, text execution, write test cases.
See, that is for SDLC. See, we
That
didn't
is
go
for
for SDLC.
STLs.
We
Uh,
didn't talk about the SDLC. We are talking about SDLC. When
okay.
we go for the SDLC, there we will be seeing writing exploration of the test cases, execution. Those things come for SDLC, testing life cycle. I'm talking
Okay.
about SDLC,
SDL.
development
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask one more?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
What are the different types of environment where the codes, like where the SDLC will be happening? Say like a production environment. Uh, is there any other type of different environment? And one more thing is, what are the different types of releases? Say like alpha release, beta release. About that things.
I didn't went to the topic now. I'm going to go to that. Okay. I'm just asking that
Okay.
whatever we explained in the SDLC, you have any questions?
Yeah.
Anyways, we are
The
going for
different
the
types of
environments.
environment. Different types of environment in the deployment phase.
Okay, fine. I'll explain about that. Next, anyone else? Any other questions?
హలో సార్
Tell me.
సార్ ఇది హై లెవెల్ డిజైన్కి లో లెవెల్ డిజైన్కి డిఫరెన్స్ చెప్తారు సార్
See, now when we go for the high level design and the low level design, it is very simple. Uh, Now you're going for a trip. Okay. Well, example, now I wanted to go for a trip for Malaysia. Uh, I will be saying that, hey, what you'll be trying to do in Malaysia? I'll try to go. First of all, I'll book my flight tickets, my hotels, and my cab. And then the list of places which I wanted to go is I wanted to go for Twin Tower and rotating restaurant. I wanted to go for Genting, and I wanted to go for French theme based thing. And then I wanted to go for the biggest aquarium, and then the biggest zoo in the, Asia. So these are the places I wanted to go. And this is what my plan. Now, this is what your high level plan. Now, detail leveling plan, what you'll try to do is, hey, this date I'm going to start. Now, 13th July, I'll be starting it from here. Now, once I started from here, I'll be it takes me 3 or 30 minutes for reaching Kuala Lumpur. Now, I'll be probably my flight is at 6 o'clock, so by 9:30 I'll be reaching there. Now, once I reach the 9:30, 10 o'clock, what I'll try to do, I'll take my cab to hotel. And then once, okay, here I have my immigration, and once after the immigration, I'll take this. And at 10 o'clock, I'll take my cab to hotel, and from the airport to hotel, it takes 45 minutes journey, so that I'll reach my hotel. I'll get fresh up, reach my hotel maximum by 10:45, and then I'll do check-in by 11 o'clock, and I'll refresh myself by 12 o'clock, and by 12 I'll be coming out, and I'll be going for the rotatory restaurant because my hotel is nearby this rotatory restaurant. Now, if you see here, with an accurate information, with the detailing of these particular steps, we are doing it. So now this is the detail level plan, which is a low level plan. High level plan is how I will be creating my software. For an example, I take the same the K-mail. I'll be doing it. Hey, I wanted to create my inbox. I wanted to create my outbox. I wanted to create my compose mail. I wanted to create my junk and the spam and all these things I wanted to create it. Now, when I was writing it, this is what my high level plan. Okay, these are the modules I wanted to create it. And what is my architecture I wanted to use it? I wanted to do MP4 architecture, or what are the things I wanted to use this year. So what are the technologies I need to use? I need to use the C# or I want to use the Java or Python, which language I wanted to use. Now, low level plan, I'll take the inbox, and for this inbox, what are the functionalities are there? How I should be able to develop this particular thing. So I'll be giving that particular detailing on this one. So once I have this particular detailing, according to this particular detailings, the development engineers will start develop this particular uh, develop this particular things. There are much more terminologies out there. I was not trying to use it because it might confuse you. I'm trying to give you as simple as possible. So that's the reason I'm giving with this example. So getting at a high level modules, getting at a high level technologies and doing, and taking every module and then detailing how it need to be developed. It will be there in the low level design, and in a high level design, we will have a high level. Means overall plan. The same way which I explained you here as a high level and low level, same way here also the software will have the high level and low level. Got it? Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let me come to one the thing, because everyone is asking about the environments, the different type of environments, or what the things are there, which one we wanted to go with. So we wanted to understand that particular environments. Now let's see that. So when it comes to this particular environments, now usually we will have multiple environments, but I'll talk about the standard environments which will have it so that you can clearly understand this. Okay, so now first one is dev environment, QA environment, and staging environment or pre-prod environment. Some companies will have even beta environment also. I'll talk about this one. And then here we will be having the live, or this will be called as production environment, or this can be called as a prod environment. And here they can call this one as staging, or they will call this one as pre-prod. Okay, what exactly this particular environment? First of all, we wanted to understand what you meant by environment. What do you meant by environment? What do you meant by environment? See, I have my work environment and my family environment and the school environment, college environment. Those are languages. See now, Java, Python, C Sharp, Go. So these all things are languages. See, these languages, for an example, if I wanted to speak to people, I should have some language, right? Either I can use it in Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Marathi, Kannada, Malayalam. So now we do have all these languages to speak with each other. With a human, if I'm trying to talk, I'll have some language, a common language, which is their English. But if you wanted to speak to computer, there should be some language, right? So these are the languages: Java, Python, C Sharp. So if you wanted to talk to a computer, you should, means both the parties should understand. So now when I'm talking to you now, you are able to understand because you know English. If I talk to you people in Spanish, will you join here? Obviously not, because you don't know Spanish. See, I'm trying to explain in Spanish and you will not understand. Same way, if you're speaking something or giving some instructions to the computer, you should know that the computer should understand that particular instructions. So that instructions, you should have a language. So these are the languages which are there. However, when we go for Java, in introduction, we talk about more about what do you mean by programming language, high level language, low level language, or what is assembly language, machine language. All those things we'll talk when we go for that. These are languages. Don't get confused. Environment is completely different. Now, I'll give you a small example. Myself, when I'm in classes, I behave different. When I'm with my colleagues in office, I behave separately. When I'm with my family, I'll behave separately. When I'm with my parents, I behave separately. And when I'm with that would be completely different. You see here, I'm only the one, but it all depends upon when I was with a different people, I'll be having different behaviors. Actually, this example I'll be giving it for your polymorphism. So when we go for the Hooke's concept, we'll discuss. But here you need to understand one point, right? Situation. Probably I may behave differently. I'm a single person, but behave in a different way based upon the situation. Now, similarly, now we are writing our code, right? So for an example, now you are developing any particular application. So now this is Amazon, right? Now, when you wanted to develop this particular Amazon application, now you need to write the code. You see it, right? On the back end, sorry, if you see that this one, for this website, I just given it a view source page code. Now, if I see it, so this is all code we have to write it. So this someone has been written the code for this Amazon. To see that particular title, everything, they'll be writing the code. So now this is the HTML code they'll be writing it, right? We will touch about the HTML also in our upcoming classes when we talk about the Selenium or anything. We'll be writing all these particular codes. You see it? They have written all this code. Okay. Now just come back here. So now, as I told you yesterday, for any software, I'll be having front-end code, back-end code, right? Now, whatever I shown you the front-end code, the back-end code will be also there. Now, they need to, the developer need to sit and write the code, right? Someone need to write the code, right? Now, this front-end code, they have been written, right? So now, they'll be, where they'll be writing? In their laptops, right? They'll sit in the laptop and then they'll write the code. So now, wherever they develop the code and push it, means for an example, developer 1 is there, developer 2 is there, developer 3 is there. Because only one person can't develop all these things, right? Now what they will do, all the front-end developers, all the back-end developers will be there. Developer 5, developer 6, developer 7. Okay? Here we have developer 4. These people all write their code in their laptop. These people write all their code in the laptop. They will push to one environment. Because they need to test whatever they write, they will test it, right? So now they keep everyone's code. See, in his laptop, he has his own code. In his laptop, he has his code, everyone. Now, with the help of this particular version control system, they keep this all codes moved into this one, complete code into the Git repository version or version control system, and they will keep into this environment. Now, this is development environment. They write the code, they test the code, everything is here. Now, from here, the code need to be moved to the next level, right? Now, if you see here, from here, the code need to be moved to here. Who will move this code from this environment to this environment? As we discussed, who moves the code?
Deployment, sir.
Steam.
Deployment.
DevOps team.
DevOps.
Deployment.
DevOps.
Deployment.
Deployment.
DevOps engineer.
Deployment. See, now you are moving the code from one environment to another environment. Then this is called as deployment. Who take care of this one is the DevOps, or we said that in the older days it is for SCM. So DevOps team will move the code from this environment to this environment. Now this is the development environment, and now this is what the QA environment. Now in the QA environment, all the testers will come and they will start testing this particular environment. Test that particular code. Means now, hey, I got this particular application to me. Now what I'll try to do, I'll click on this, whether it's working. I'm clicking on this, whether it's working or not, whether this is working or not, whether this is working or not. I'll click on these multiple things and see that whether it is working or not. So that is what the code will be moved from this environment to this environment. The front end code, back end code, all the DBs and everything will be moved into this environment, so that the testing team will take care and then test this one. Because why can't the testing team will test this one on the development environment? Because till now they didn't completed the development. They are developing something. There would be changes happening consistently on this one. How can you go back and test it in the development environment? So now this is not good. I'll give you the copy. You play around this one. Not in my copy. Don't do that. Okay. So now the development process, everything would be there. So this is called dev environment. So now developers will develop all the code, and once it is stable, so they will push it to the QA environment for testing. So they push the code or deploy the code into QA environment. So now we need to ask, a code is deployed to the QA environment. Deployed is nothing but it's very simple. Hey, whether you move the code to the QA environment or not. Once the code is here, now then the tester team will take this and then they'll start to test this. Now the same code will give it to the next state, means next environment, I told you that some companies will have beta environment, staging environment, and then live. What is this beta and staging or pre-prod environment? Example, now we do have examinations, right? If you're preparing for your MSET examinations or for examination, you'll have assessments, half-yearly exam, pre-final exam, and exam, main exams. Why should we have those things? To make sure whether you read
Present.
properly or not, right? So whether you're reading properly or not, to check yourself. So that we have half-yearly, pre-final, and then final. To make sure you prepare well, means before going to the main exams, you will be preparing yourself very well so that you can write your main exams well. So that's the reason we have the pre-finals, right? The same concept here also, to make sure that your code without having any particular defects. So first we will do that pre-final, which is called pre-prod. Pre-prod environment, or it is called as staging. Staging is before you are going to production, just you check here. So that is called staging environment. And pre-prod environment is this. So staging and pre-prod, both are same. Now we check all the code, means the code would be deployed from the QA to this pre-prod environment. We'll make sure that the pre-prod environment is working fine. And once if it is working fine, then the code move to the live environment. The code will be deployed to the live environment. Now you see how the code is deploying into the different environments. Who would be deploying this all? Deployment was taken care by the DevOps teams. They deploy into different environments, and different teams will test it here. In pre-prod environment, dev people will test this. Means they write the code, they wanted to test it, right? So that they will do it here. QA environment, tester will test it. And here, pre-prod environment, testers, and then even the client also can test it. So this is called UAT, which is called user acceptance testing. Means user need to accept this is what we expected. It all depends upon the company to company. If it is a service-based company, the cycle will be different. Product-based company, it will be cycle will be different. Now you know what is a service-based company and product-based companies, right? Now the code is moved or deployed to the live. Now the code is available for all. So now from here, all the customers will access this and this particular application. To make sure whatever the developed code working fine, so that will be tested in the QA environment, that will be tested in the staging environment, then it would be pushed to the live. And few other companies, as I told you, they will keep another environment also, which is called beta environment, and then they start testing this one. So beta environment, same code. But nowadays, we were not seeing this one beta at all. So most of the things will be pushed directly to means from QA, they will test it in the QA environment, push to the pre-prod environment, from pre-prod environment to the production environment. So this is ideal environments in any particular software companies. So this should be the ideal way of environments should be there. So this is called the ideal environments which we should have on this one. Okay, and beta, I told you, but if it is required, they'll be having it or not. So now just you need to understand that the code would be moved from one environment to one environment to test that one more with a more quality we wanted before reaching to the line. So this is the most important thing for the code movement. Okay. Any questions here?
No, sir.
So
Right.
I have a
So
doubt. So
yes.
sorry. If at all, I mean, in QA environment, if any problem rises, it should be, I mean, those queries are deployed again back to the develops team, sir. Is it?
Yes.
That's it, right? That's it, right? So now, if they find the bugs, now what they will try to do, they will send it back to the developers. The developers will fix that one, and once again they will move to the QA environment. Not only in this environment, even
In
here,
any
if it is any environment, if we have the problem, we identify, but these people will be penalized. But
Okay.
now they didn't identify a bug here. They identified the bug here. They will ask that what you have done in your testing in your environment. You should have identified this bug here, right? How come this bug escaped from here to here? They will ask. And then this bug, once again, it will go to this environment, they fix it. Once again, it comes here. Once again, it comes here. And the worst part is they identify in the production, that would be much more bigger. So what they have done here, how can a bug escape to here? This is a bug escape, right?
Yes,
They
yes.
would be more, the cost of bug would be much more when it identified late.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any other?
No, thank you.